Good morning, and welcome back to the 2017-2018 school year.
You know, I know you're all coming back from summer vacation, although some of you, as an educator, you never really go on vacation. But I'm looking forward to the school year. I think we've made a lot of progress in the past, and I'm looking forward to the progress that you guys are going to make for our kids and our community going forward.
So on behalf of the Board of Education members, we'd like to welcome you to the new school year.
On behalf of the Stanford Education Association,
On behalf of the Paraeducators Association,
On behalf of our co-presidents of the Stanford Administrators Unit, Dave Tate and PJ Wax,
On behalf of PT Council, I'd like to welcome you all to the 2017-2018 school year.
Congratulations on being a teacher. There's nothing more important in society, there's nothing more important to humanity that you can do.
Well, I think the most important role of the board is to hire the superintendent, and the superintendent has been able to come in and help drive a strategic planning process, and that's very, very important. And then through the board's policies, really those need to be reflective of the values of the school system and that strategic planning process.
There's no way that I can do justice to the tens of thousands of interactions between students and teachers in our school system throughout the past year. But know that the inspiration that you've provided to our young people has not gone without notice. Those brief shining moments, those times when you've elicited from a child things that they didn't think that they could do, are the kinds of things that breed success in our system. At the school level, there have been many efforts to engage faculty, to engage parents, to engage community in improving our school system. And there have been great results from those efforts. We've seen improvements in just about every aspect of our school report card, in the next generation accountability standards that are published by the state. Terrific growth. No other school system has had that kind of achievement in the past year. At the district level, we've seen build a reflection on the accomplishments of the past, an assessment of all the good work that you've done over the years that have made us who we are today.
You know, the number of accomplishments that the schools have been racking up in this past year just seem to be phenomenal. At the high school levels, you know, and the athletic teams and the academic teams and the newspapers at the high schools and the elementary schools. I mean, it's just terrific what I am hearing, and not just in the formal recognition of success, but as well what I'm hearing from parents. I think we are on a stronger, better course than we've been on for a while, and I'm hoping that we can move that ship forward through the difficult seas ahead, because I think we've got a good foundation to move forward.
I think we came at our strategic plan with an understanding that our landscape is extremely complex. We have learners who come to us already reading, who are writing books in kindergarten, and we have other learners who come to us having never spoken a word of English in their lives, having migrated across incredible terrain against all sorts of circumstances that we can't even imagine. So the terrain, the landscape, the educational landscape that we're in is extremely complex. And it's just not possible for the central office or even a principal to direct the actions of all the teachers, the 1,900 staff members in our system, and expect that kind of compliance and that kind of response to the students that they see before them. A strategic plan in our case simplifies that complex system so that people can focus on common goals and shared understandings of where we're heading. So in the absence of direction, they can take the initiative and exercise good professional judgment on behalf of our students. And by doing that, we serve them much better than if the central office dictated that what they could and could not do. That's the reason strategic plans are so important in places like Stanford. It empowers teachers, it empowers leaders to make decisions without waiting for direction from above.
We're so pleased to have had Superintendent Kim with us this past year. He quickly realized that we needed to adapt a strategic plan and strategic planning process to really bring everyone together and to drive the district forward, to really take stock of all the initiatives that are underway and help us all move together.
goals for the paraeducators in this school year is to, along with the administrators and the staff, we'd like to challenge, inspire, and motivate the students of the Stanford district. We are like the mortar that holds these bricks together, and it becomes, even though we have challenges and we do inspire, we have to be strong to hold those bricks in one place, and that's what we do with the teachers in the classroom.
The goal of PT Council this year is to create a collaborative relationship with the staff. Parents are often considered the first teachers of all children, and as we move forward, we continue to assist the primary teacher in that role. So we want to be sure that we can be the best assistant to you that we possibly can. So when we're struggling, not understanding what the assignment is, it's helpful if we know what the expectations are, what you are looking for in the assignment, in the project, when we know when projects are coming up, and more importantly, if our students are not performing well, we'd like to know before the progress reports come out so that we can help. And on the flip side of that, communication is a two-way street, and we will do everything that we can to encourage our parents to reach out to all of you if they have questions, if they have concerns, if there's a challenging environment in their home life that's going to impact the way a student is going to perform in the classroom. So we want to be sure that the communication is a two-way street.
Our initial goal is to negotiate our successor agreement to our contract. Contract negotiations began on August 3rd. Our team has been very active during the summer, and we're hoping to reach an agreement before arbitration, which is October 17th.
As Stanford Public School administrators, our primary role is to keep our students at the focal point of every decision we make. We challenge by providing an environment that encourages risk-taking. We inspire by developing a personal connection with each student in a safe and nurturing climate. And we prepare by setting high expectations in order for each student to achieve their maximum potential.
One of the benefits of Stanford Public Schools is its diversity. I think the staff goes above and beyond to embrace the diversity and to bring that into the classroom, making it a learning experience. I think the more that parents get involved and help, it shows your children that they have your support and that we're all in this together, teachers, parents, and students.
So in terms of the focus for the district for this coming year, first, it's on our outstanding people. They're so important to our community and to the success of our schools. So if we can empower our staff, our leadership, the pace of change will increase and the innovation that's required for today will only be enhanced. And secondly, from our strategic planning rollout in the coming months, we'll be rolling out our strategic plan. It's a wonderful opportunity to get everyone on the same page, from board members to the administration to the staff and leaders of the district. And if we can get everyone on the same page with the outstanding people that we have, the pace of change will only be heightened and improved for everyone.
Strategic plan is important because it ultimately benefits the students. Any school that has a plan and is the best educational strategy for the students is got to get there somehow. And by having a strategic plan, it would benefit everyone.
It's important for the district to develop a strategic plan to build a foundation. Stanford's a big, diverse city, and I think it's important for all of our schools, in order to ensure the academic success of our students, that all of the schools have worked towards common goals and objectives. This way we can measure performance and ensure a successful academic career for our students.
It's important for the district to have a strategic plan because we are in an ever-changing environment. We have 21 schools in Stanford with 21 very different personalities. Everyone is working toward an end goal, but how they get there is going to be a little different. And things do change on a day-to-day basis. A plan that we had in place even as little as 7, 8 years ago, is no longer valid, and we need to make sure that we keep up with the changing times.
With our ever-changing and dynamic world, it's more important now than ever to align our core values in order to achieve our shared vision and mission for all students. Through the strategic plan, all teachers, staff, and administrators will work together in a collaborative and collective effort to provide every student with a rigorous and challenging education in a supportive and nurturing culture. This requires reflection, forethought, and prioritizing our next steps.
It's important to have a strategic plan because we need a clear vision for effective teaching and learning. We need to challenge, inspire, and prepare our students. We need to promote academic excellence so that every student reaches his or her potential. We need to encourage community support and family engagement, and I believe the strategic plan will help us do this.
So we've built, together with our community, our teachers, our parents, our students, our community-based organizations, a vision for the future, a mission that we can all be proud of and that we can all stand behind. In fact, when we brought our advisory council of some 300 people together at the end of the year to reflect and to give feedback on what we've put together, 95% of them strongly agreed with the direction in which we were moving. So it is truly a shared vision for our schools that we're about to embark upon. And it's simple, that the Stanford Public Schools will be a system, a learning organization, in which all of us are committed to improving our craft, to being more effective in our classrooms, in our leadership roles, and to be more effective as students, to be transformational in the teaching and learning that goes on in each and every space of our system. And in that way, we will challenge, inspire, and prepare all of our students for success in furthering their education and in life beyond school. And our mission is equally simple. It is to cultivate those habits of mind, habits of body, and habits of heart that will allow our students to enrich their lives and the world in which they live.
I think it's critically important to engage the community. In that way, the community can understand what our strategic goals are, how we'll measure success, and what resources we'll need to be able to drive the district forward. In that way, we can really build that community support that is so terribly important for education.
So the role of the community in the strategic planning process is hugely important because if you ask any member of our community where they think our schools should be, you'll probably get a different answer from each of them. Bringing people together, educators, students, parents, community leaders, community-based organizations, allowed us to share our thoughts on where our school system should be going, what our vision for the future was, and to shape that in a way that we could all stand behind it. This is the vision for our school system. This is the vision that we hope to realize. And not only to have that sort of 30,000-foot level view of our system, but also to come up with a more concrete mission. Those habits of mind, body, and heart that we talk about each have definitions that we can stand behind. The goals for our system, the 4 simple goals that we have for our system, are lined up with each of those things: the mind, the body, and the heart, and the learning organization as a whole. These are the things that we're going to pursue with diligence, with perseverance, with focus. And by doing that across the system, again, without direction, but knowing that each of us is responsible for advancing that mission, accomplishing that mission, will allow us to unleash the energy, I think, that exists within our district. Again, at the student level, staff level, parent and community. The goals and action plans actually occur at 2 levels, at the district level and at the school level. So we actually have 21 school strategic action plans that are aligned with the single district strategic plan. This fall, we'll be rolling that out in waves or in increments so that people will have a chance to give feedback, to really come to grips with what it is we're seeking to do at the district level, but more importantly at the school level. After that, it's just a matter of execution. There are some things that we're doing that are continuations of the good work that we've been doing all this time. In other cases, we're opening up new areas for exploration. Again, it's a collaborative process that we're going to explore together to develop concrete plans for implementation in the future. So whether we're talking about an enrichment program or the parent engagement programs or initiatives, those are things that are relatively new to us as a school system, but that we'll be seeking to explore together with our professionals, with our parents, and with our community-based organizations. So one of the brilliant and characters that I've had the opportunity to meet this year and to work with this year is somebody who's near and dear to your hearts, I know. He is our Stanford Teacher of the Year, who is here to share a few words and an activity that will start our year off with a bang. It's my privilege to introduce to you Mr. Vin Urbanowski.
I always wanted to be a teacher. However, the road to teaching was long and circuitous. After high school, I majored in music for a little while, thought I'd be a musician, played the organ in churches and stuff like that, ended up building pipe organs as a job, went from there to, I went to Norwalk Community College. It was called Norwalk Tech back then, to get an associate's in electrical engineering. So I could, as my boss said, be in charge of electronic organs. Now, this was a two-person company, and so that was kind of a pipe dream. But I got the electrical engineering associates and used that to get a job for a business-to-business advertising agency, writing advertising copy for really complicated engineering products, and ended up on Madison Avenue writing TV commercials for frozen fruit pops, as well as for new systems for IBM and things like that. It was a great ride. So at some point, I found myself as the chief creative officer of an advertising agency in Silicon Alley. And that was a hard job. There was a lot of pressure on me to produce, a lot of pressure on me to manage the teams correctly. I remember rewriting presentations, doing coding on my computer in the back of a cab on the way to the client. That sort of pressure was on my life. And we'd spend the night in the office just working through to meet our deadlines. And so much was at stake, so much was at stake. But I find that being a teacher is harder. Being a teacher takes even more out of me. Being a teacher takes from me and gives to me so much more satisfaction than I ever had in any other job in my life. One of the things that works for me to engage students, and this is important, you can bring the sort of strugglers along if you can engage them authentically, and you can also, there are some kids who just want A's and aren't really loving the content either. You can bring those kids along with you as well, if you understand and grasp and love your content. They won't ask you, when will I use this, if they see that you know of ways that it is being used out in the world and you can share that. I find that this generates conversations about the things that human beings do, our accomplishments as a people. And that always has an opportunity to be tied back to content, and I think that engages. So strugglers can at least see the point of the struggler, and the kids who are just trying to rack up points, maybe they can see that it's more than an A, it's actually understanding. And the other thing I want to say about that is that an important part of every teacher's job is that of a storyteller. And every story has the right language for telling it. So I'm a math teacher, and I find that math is a great way for telling the stories of falling objects, for telling the story of why this eclipse just happened. These things result in calculations that students can actually do. So the best way to tell the story of the flight of a rocket, for example, is in fact to use the quadratic equation and talk about the different phases of flight there. So what that does is it makes the mathematics authentic, it contextualizes the mathematics, and also generates the idea that you're telling a story in the technical language that we're teaching. What's keeping me excited about this job is being vigilant for professional development opportunities. I don't know what they are for you, but I do know that I was able to discover some things at NASA, at MIT, at Caltech. There's things going on. You need to find a way into that network and find out what's going on. And that sets the fire on your content knowledge, your content commitment, your content joy. All that stuff comes from constantly feeding it, and that's one of the things that keeps me excited. The other thing that keeps me excited is meeting other people and talking about their jobs. When you talk to other people about their jobs, you can listen carefully and find out how that connects with something that you can do in your classroom. And you also get to find out that regardless of what people say about education, it's been my experience that everybody kind of loves teachers. Of course, that's not true for everybody, but it's been my experience that people love teachers. And this was very clear to me when I was having brunch at a NASA event with some students of mine, students from all over the country, as well as an astronaut. So we're sitting there, and the astronaut is talking to me about how great my job is. And I even sensed just a little bit of envy on his part. But I thought, oh, well, you know, decent people like teachers, and he was just being a decent guy. Later on, I'm on my way to the restroom, and I bump into him on the way out, and he shakes my hand, and he looks me in the eye, and he thanks me for being a teacher, and he talks about his love of teaching and of learning and how part of him wishes that he was a teacher. And I'll say part of me wishes I was an astronaut. But still, it was a very human connection. And these human connections around the things that humanity achieves is one of the things that keeps me excited about learning. As Teacher of the Year this year, I want to create some community around addressing a very important question. And the question comes from the fact that about half of the municipal government goes towards the school system, and a lot of people don't believe that they're seeing the direct benefit of what we do. In other words, there are a lot of people who are paying us who think that we don't benefit them. Now, we know that's true. We in this room, we in this building, we in this profession know that we're creating citizens and participants in society, people who will not just consume but produce as well. And the town needs, the city needs well-trained employees, competent people. So we do contribute directly to society in that way. But what we also need to be aware of is that this is not always visible to everybody in society. So we need to invite the community to participate with us, and we need to reach out to the community to participate with them. We need the community to know what it is we do. We need to share. More of us need to present in STEM Fest. More of us need to let Sharon know about the amazing things that are happening in our buildings. More of us need to make it clear that we're participating in the community. As one of the biggest investments that the community makes, we need to demonstrate the value proposition. We need to somehow become the jewel in the crown of the municipal system, of the city. And I'm looking for people to help me understand how we can make that value proposition and understand how we can bring that sort of new perspective to our world.
If I can, I'm going to read a little something here. A couple of years ago, in honor of Teacher Appreciation Day, then President Obama thanked the nation's teachers for the job that they do. And he reminisced about the impact his own fifth grade teacher had on his life. And he recalled a specific incident, and in doing so, made it impossible not to connect the dots. He said, "The first time she called on me, I wish she hadn't. In fact, I wish I were just about anywhere else but at that desk in the fifth grade room with the other children staring at me. But over the course of the year, Ms. Hefty taught me that I had something to say, not in spite of my differences, but because of my differences. She made every single student in that class feel special. She reinforced the essential value of empathy that my mother and my grandparents had taught me. That is something that I carry with me every day as president. This is the simple and undeniable power of a great teacher. So I, as mayor, I like to think that I can see the future a little bit, but I cannot predict whether any of you will be teaching a future president during this school year. But I can say that with certainty that your work makes a difference, and you will influence not only your students' individuals' future, but our collective future. I thank you in advance for your professionalism, your dedication, your empathy, your courage, your intelligence, your passion, and more specifically, as someone who had a spouse who was dedicated to this, I thank you for that daily commitment of going in, trying to help these kids become all that they can be and should be, and the endurance that you bring to this job to ensuring that they have the future that we want for them. Thank you.
So I'd like to leave a message for the staff that says that we have a great foundation here in Stamford, but we have room to grow. It's time for us to make a true commitment to being the kind of organization that we say we are, where we, as individual staff members and as students, as parents, that we do reflect on our practice and that we seek to improve our learning, again, whether it's classroom learning, professional practice, or parenting skills, that we seek to continually improve. That's a commitment that we have, that we seek to collaborate, whether it's with our peers, whether it's with our parents, that we seek to collaborate to improve outcomes for all children in Stamford. That we choose to look at problems in their entirety, in their complexity, and look to solve systems of problems rather than just isolated things. That's a commitment that we have as a system, to avoid those simplistic solutions and to look at the more complex system and seek to solve those big problems and challenges that we have. I think that we can do that. I think Stamford is prepared for that. These are parts of our DNA already. We just need, as individuals, to commit to making that happen.
I would like to respectfully request that all of our staff members encourage parents to get involved in our public schools. That's what makes a difference.
The SEA is only as strong as its members. We will be working this year on increasing member engagement. Already, several members have attended the NEA Representative Assembly in Boston and the CEA Summer Leadership Conference at Mohegan Sun. Those who attended the conference attended workshops on negotiations, grievance processing, teachers' rights and student behavior, and new laws and policies that affect teachers in the classroom. You too can get involved during this school year. There will be many CEA-sponsored workshops right here in Stamford. Think about signing up and attending them.
During these next couple of very busy days spent reconnecting with colleagues, setting up classrooms, preparing for our students' arrival, and attending professional development, I believe it is critical for each and every one of us to take a moment and reflect on what led us to this profession in the first place, and how we can contribute to developing a healthy mind, body, and heart in ourselves, in each other, and our students. As the artwork above my desk reminds me at the start of each new school year, through teamwork, when the best and the brightest come together, the possibilities are endless. I believe we have the best and the brightest in you.
Well, I'd like to leave the paras with the message that they are the strength, they are the support for these children, and sometimes these children don't have that at home, so when they come to school, they have that connection with you. And there's a little bit of a story that I'd like to bring forth. It's a story of a starfish. A man was walking along the beach one day, and this boy was throwing things into the water, into the ocean. And the man got closer, and he realized it was a starfish. And he said, why are you throwing starfish into the ocean? And the boy said, well, the tide is coming up. If I don't, they'll die. So the man said, but you will never make a difference. And so the young boy started to pick up another starfish. He threw it into the ocean, and he said, that I made a difference.
So the one message we'd like to leave the staff for this coming school year is this. Thank you. Thank you for all you've done for all of our children. We thank you on behalf of the board members and from me personally as a parent in the school system for the last 16 years. Your dedication, commitment, and passion is evident in all you do. You spend more quality time with our children during the school week than any other adult in their lives. So please remember that as we move forward together. And again, a big thank you.
Love your kids, love your content, love yourself. Have a great year.
As Helen Keller once said, alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. We look forward to a very successful year.
I wish you a wonderful 2017-18 school year.
We look forward to working with you this school year.
Have a great school year.
Thank you. We value all that you do.
And we look forward to the coming year, to the implementation of our strategic plan. And just remember, hashtag SPS Challenge, hashtag SPS Inspire, hashtag SPS Prepare. Thank you, and have a great year.
I don't know about you, but I'm a little disappointed that we couldn't actually all be in the same space together today for Convocation. It's wonderful to get a little bit of energy from each other. It's great to shake hands and talk a little bit about our summers. We didn't get to do that. But one way that we can participate in community together today is for us all to look around the room where we are and find one of these hands and write on it. Take some pictures, have a little fun, and then we'll share them.